Greetings, my fellow ghouls, goblins, and ghosts. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Purgatory, and I am the Queen of Samhain, and I want to welcome you all to my catacombs of creepiness. Here in my catacombs of creepiness, we talk all things horror, big or small. So if you're into that sort of thing, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe, and give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram for more horror talk and content. Anyway, let's get into today's video. Today I am going to cover an 80s zombie classic called Hell of the Living Dead, 1980. Many of you probably know this film by its alternate titles, Virus or Zombie Creeping Flesh. Pretty cool, right? I had never seen this film before, so I decided to watch it after recently checking out the In Search of Darkness 3 Journey into 80s Horror on Shudder, and I just had to watch it afterwards. It looked awesome. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen any of the In Search of Darkness Journey into 80s Horror documentaries, I highly recommend them. They're very informative and awesome. They are all on Shudder if you are subscribed to Shudder, and if you're not subscribed to Shudder, I highly recommend Shudder. It's amazing. Hell of the Living Dead 1980 was interesting, to say the least. It's an Italian horror film directed by Bruno Mattei. Hopefully I didn't completely butcher his last name. It begins in a chemical plant / lab called Hope Center Number 1. Where a deadly chemical leaks out caused by a rat that somehow gets into the facility. When the rat dies due to the chemical, it comes back to life, attacking one of the men who work in the lab, infecting him almost immediately. You probably know where this is about to go. The man then comes back to life and begins to attack and devour his co-workers. Action begins to spread as a result through the chemical plant. Everyone who works in the plant is killed and infected, turning them into flesh-eating zombies. The chemical is also released into the air, turning the locals of Papua New Guinea into flesh-eating zombies as well. Delicious. Meanwhile, a news reporter and her crew land on the island to investigate what is going on. Her crew is killed. The reporter and her cameraman run into 4 Interpol commandos who are also on the island to investigate after contact with Hope Center's 1 ceases. Together they fight an army of the undead until they eventually make their way to that very chemical plant where everything started. The story was a little all over the place, but the whole thing was fun beginning to end. It was a big, gory, gross out fest that you don't want to miss if you're a huge zombie film fan, especially if you're a fan of George Romero's films. Speaking of George Romero, the producers, writers, and director Bruno Mattei really wanted to make a zombie film similar to George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead, 1978. And if you actually watch this film, it feels almost as if you took Lucio Fulci's Zombie, or aka Zombie 2, and Dawn of the Dead, and combine them. If you did that, this would be the result. It even features a music score by Goblin, the same exact music score, by the way, that was actually used in Dawn of the Dead 1978. Pretty interesting, right? I love that Goblin music score. I have it on my Halloween playlist. I was actually playing it while we were handing out candy to trick-or-treaters. So much fun. Love Goblin. If you're interested in watching this film, it's available on Tubi for free and Amazon Prime. My official rating for this film is 4 out of 5 skulls. It was amazing, very gory, very fun. If you like gore, this is the one for you. Anyways, that just about does it for today's video. Be sure to give me a like and subscribe. Hit the little bell notification so you never miss when I post a video. Also, be sure to give me a follow on Twitter at Purgatory Horror, which is who I am on all platforms. And if you're looking to support the channel in any way, shape, or form, I also have a Patreon. And on this Patreon is a lot of extra horror content. I write my own short stories, I do written reviews, and I even write horror poetry and post some of my art on there. And some behind the scenes stuff if you're interested in that. So You know, if you're interested in supporting the channel, it's a great way to do it. I'll drop the link in the description below. Thank you guys so much. I love you. So long and pleasant screams.